Good morning, and today is Tuesday, and we're starting a new chapter today, and it is called After School. And this part of the chapter is called I am forced to try out a new way of shopping. At 3:20, Gamble was waiting for me by the gate on the way out of school, a big goofy grin across his face. You need doughnuts, right? Yes, 51 of them. 52? He said. Mr. Wiggles loves them. So I'm going to use one as bait and get him back. For Gamble, this was actually quite good thinking. At home, we use chocolate to catch mice and rats. Then I electrocute them and run them over with my skateboard. That sort of stuff. But I won't do that with Mr. Wiggles because I love him. I love him like Mrs. McDonald. And where exactly are we going to get the doughnuts? I asked, trying to ignore most of what he just said. Supermarket, said Gamble, twitching and blinking like some sick rabbit. Rabbit. That came out a bit weird, didn't it? Rabbit. It's next door to my house. The bus goes right there. Come round mine after. I don't think I'll be allowed, I said. Well, not without a set of infections and injections first. Give us your mobile, he said. Reluctantly, I took it out of my rucksack and handed it over. He searched the numbers and dialed my house. Someone answers and Gamble started speaking. All right, Mrs. Roman's mum, it's Darren Gamble. Roman's coming round to my house for tea and we're having rice pheasant. I heard Mum's muffled voice say, Ooh, very posh. Yeah, said Gamble. Dad ran it over in his car last night. Oh, I slapped my hand on my forehead. Wow. I knew Gamble was a bit scuzzy, but I'd no idea he'd eat roadkill. I could hear Mum over the line asking to speak to me. Gamble seemed to weigh this up for a few seconds. Nah, he said. Then he just hung up on her. I was about to say that was pretty rude when his face lit up. Look, here comes the bus. Now, a normal person stops a bus by putting out their hand. Gamble's method? Well, a little bit different. Just as the bus was coming past at full pelt, he leapt out into the middle of the road in front of it, screaming and waving his hands around. It's not a good idea, is it? I could see the panic in the driver's eyes. He slammed on his brakes, screeching to a halt, inches in front of Gamble. About a second later, a tiny dog crashed outside against the windscreen and slithered down it, legs spread wide against the glass. Cool, said Gamble. He skipped round and just hopped up through the open doors. What is wrong with your brain? Snarled the driver. He looked pretty angry. Gamble ignored the question. I think he probably had been asked it before. You shouldn't have braked so hard, he said. Look at that poor dog. The tiny dog was drunk and staggering round in the circles on the floor. Oh, I thought the dog was on the outside and got hit on the windscreen. He was on the bus and he went slam at the front of the windscreen. Now I get it. Anyway, going back to the story. An extremely old lady scooped up the dog and gave Gamble a dirty look. Gamble grinned at her. Probably best to keep hold of his lead, miss, he said. The old woman said something extraordinarily rude. I've never heard a woman in her 80s swear before. Then I guess that's the effect Gamble has on people. Hurry up and pay your fare or I'll kick you off, said the driver. I'm really sorry, we don't have any money, I said. Gamble pulled a £20 note out of his pocket. Where did you get that? I said. Saw Miss McDonald put it in her desk, so I nicked it at playtime, he said, as though this was the normal thing to do. I tried to figure out if this was wrong or not. I mean, I knew I would have been wrong, but it was my £20 note and we were going to use it to get the doughnuts as planned, so maybe it wasn't totally wrong. What do you think? They stole a £20 note from the teacher. I think that's wrong. I don't give change, said the driver. Don't matter, said Gamble, poking the 20 quid in the slot. On buses round here, you put your money straight into a machine and it drops down into a safe. Yes, it does, I said. We need that money. It was too late. The driver had already pressed the button. There was a ka-ching sound and the money dropped out of the glass slot and disappeared. Oh, yeah, said Gamble. I forgot. The tickets were printed and the doors closed. The other people on there were mainly old, looked just as cross as the lady with the dog, and a couple of them were picking themselves up off the floor. A handbag had spilt all the way down the aisle, sending boiled sweets and loose change rolling everywhere. Gamble just didn't seem to notice. And how are we supposed to get the doughnuts now? I asked him as we sat down. No problem, said Gamble. He's always begging, or the 5-fingered discount. The what? I said. I didn't like the sound of this. Gamble wiggled his fingers in the air. You know, shoplifting. I do it all the time. He said this cheerfully, like it was nothing out of the ordinary. I've got loads of hobbies, I could imagine him saying. Skateboarding, cricketing, shoplifting, murdering dolphins, you know, all the usual stuff. I turned my back on him, hunched my shoulders and put my head against the cold window. If I hadn't tried to eat the deadly doughnut on Monday, I wouldn't be mates with Gamble. I wouldn't have a girlfriend who was harassing me. I wouldn't own minus 52 doughnuts, and I wouldn't be about to launch myself into the life of crime. Surely the deadly doughnut couldn't cause me any more problems, could it? I think we all know the answer to that one. And that's the end of that part of the book today. And tomorrow's part of the chapter is called The Chance of a Lifetime. See you tomorrow. Bye.